told of this wonderful event. "Surely I shall now be taken and planted in the garden," thought the thistle. "Perhaps I shall be put into a flower pot, for that is by far the most honourable position." It thought of this so long that it ended by saying to itself with a firm conviction of truth, "I shall be planted in a flower pot." It promised every little bud that came that it also should be placed in a pot, and perhaps have a place in a buttonhole, that being the highest position one could aspire to. But none of them got into a flower pot, and still less into a gentleman's buttonhole. They lived on light and air, and drank sunshine in the day and dew at night. They received visits from bee and hornet, who came to look for the honey in the flower, and who took the honey and left the flower. "The good-for-nothing fellows," said the thistle bush. "I would pierce them if I could." The flowers drooped and faded, but new ones always came. "You come as if you had been sent," said the thistle bush to them. "I am expecting every moment to be taken over the fence." A couple of harmless daisies and a huge thin plant of canary grass listened to this with the deepest respect, believing all they heard. The old donkey, that had to pull the milk cart, cast longing looks toward the blooming thistle and tried to reach it, but his tether was too short. And the thistle bush thought and thought so much and so long of the Scotch thistle, to whom it believed itself related, that at last it fancied it had come from Scotland, and that its parents had grown into the Scottish arms. It was a great thought, but a great thistle may well have great thoughts. "Sometimes one is of noble race, even if one does not know it," said the nettle growing close by. It had a kind of presentiment that it might be turned into muslin, if properly treated. The summer passed, and the autumn passed. The leaves fell from the trees. The flowers came with stronger colours and less perfume. The gardener's lad sang on the other side of the fence. "Up the hill and down the hill, that's the way of the world still." The young pine trees in the wood began to feel a longing for Christmas, though Christmas was still a long way off. "Here I am still," said the thistle. "It seems that I am quite forgotten, and yet it was I who made the match. They were engaged, and now they are married. The wedding was a week ago. I do not make a single step forward, for I cannot." Some weeks passed. The thistle had its last solitary flower, which was large and full and growing down near the root. The wind blew coldly over it, the colour faded, and all its glory disappeared, leaving only the cup of the flower, now grown to be as large as the flower of an artichoke, and glistening like a silvered sunflower. The young couple, who were now man and wife, came along the garden path, and as they passed near the fence, the bride, glancing over it, said, "Why, there stands the large thistle. It has no flowers now." "Yes, there is still the ghost of the last one," said her husband, pointing to the silvery remains of the last flower, a flower in itself. "How beautiful it is," she said. "We must have one, carved in the frame of our picture." And once more the young man had to get over the fence to break off the silvery cup of the thistle flower. It pricked his fingers for his pains because he had called it a ghost. And then it was brought into the garden, and to the hall, and into the drawing-room. There stood a large picture, the portraits of the two, and in the bridegroom's buttonhole was painted a thistle. They talked of it and of the flower cup they had brought in with them, the last silver-shimmering thistle flower that was to be reproduced in the carving of the frame. The air took all their words and scattered them about, far and wide. "What strange things happen to one," said the thistle bush. "My firstborn went to live in a buttonhole, my lastborn in a frame. I wonder what is to become of me." The old donkey, standing by the roadside, cast loving glances at the thistle and said, "Come to me, my sweetheart, for I cannot go to you. My tether is too short."